Okay, it's me. Um, Recently, I've been getting some, what can I say, constructive criticism. People complaining about sometimes there being no Fez Night. Fez Night is posted too late for them to watch. And what's the other one? Oh, and they missed the old Fez Night where I chopped it up into pieces. Well, I'm listening. Constructive criticism. Hold on, my water just finished boiling. Be right there. Okay. All right. So, yeah, so I'm listening. And, well, first of all, if you read the description, Fez Night, should I read it verbatim? Let's see if I can bring this up. Oh. This is what it says. My weekly video blog, which I record every Sunday night, almost, in parentheses. So what I'm saying is that I usually post a Fez Night Sunday night. And then again, Sunday night. I live on the West Coast. It is about 6:30 my time right now, which feels early. But when I was out of work, I was so bored every day that unless I was feeling suicidal or something, I would post the Fez Night. I would get recording early, sometimes as early as 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. And some people are like, oh yeah, they like the early Fez, and they began to think that it was their right to an early Fez. It says here I record every Sunday night. That's Sunday night my time. And as far as chopping it up in little bits, I don't know how I did it before, but I used to drink alcohol and then record the Fez Night, and then at least show one or two pieces that night that I would post. And I'd be chopping it up into pieces, making mistakes, being really tired, feeling like crap the work the next day, but I still did it pretty often and would get pretty darn buzzed. Well, those days are over for now. I mean, I thought about opening up a bottle of $2 Chuck, which I happen to have. For those of you that don't have a Trader Joe's in your town, $2 Chuck is actually Charles Shaw wine, and it sells for about $2 a bottle. And it's actually not bad. It's a real bargain. So it's about like all I can afford these days. And even that's pushing it. But I have this new job, and I have to, and it's been a little over a month now. Pops. And anybody else in the pool, betting pool, I'd be curious. Andy is wishing me enough poverty that so I could lose my internet connection. And then there would be no Fez Night. So some people absolutely hate Fez Night. Some people would absolutely love to see CitizenCon go away permanently. Well, knock wood, that's not gonna happen. Until I die. I mean, we all have to go away sometime. So as far as cutting up in pieces, oh man, the trouble, I hated that part. I hated cutting it up into pieces. And now that I can post it in one big chunk on Royal or the Fez, I don't want to go back, okay? On Citizen Kong's channel, I will post the teaser, which is just random. I just randomly take parts and just throw it together and make a 1 or 2 minute video so it'll upload fast. It sort of lets you know that there's one coming. Then you'll have to go to the Royal or the Fez channel. There's a link on my channel. Go over there and look for Fez Night. And if you're on the East Coast and you don't see it till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, well, I apologize. But traditionally, most people watch Fez Night the next day. They watch it either Monday morning, or if they have to go to work, they watch it Monday night. So for them, Fez Night is still Fez Night because they're watching it at night. So did I address that fully? And any other criticisms, I'm listening. You know, you don't like the way I comb my hair. You don't like the fact that I'm going bald. You don't like the fact that my eyes do not perfectly open the same way. Now look, a lazy eye cannot track something, okay? A lazy eye, the eye goes off, okay? Just wanted to tell that Cyber9 Rounder who thinks he's a doctor. He thinks he's a psychiatrist, and now he thinks he's an optometrist. And then Pops is going along like his little lap dog. Yeah, Timmy, he's got a lazy eye. Yep. That's Pops. Except it's more like he talks like this because he's got that Boston accent. Real wicked God. I'm thinking about Pops because he was following me around in the comments section today. And he said he was baiting me, but he spelled it B-A-T-I-N-G. Hey, I couldn't help it. I had to point that out to him. All right. Okay, I think my tea's about brewed here, about steeped. So I'm drinking tea, all right? No $2 Chuck tonight. Look, I was going to eat dinner. And I said, oh, shit, Gino the Hitman's waiting. But, this will post too late, Gino, unless you're going to stay up really late. And L. Brookman, yes. L. Brookman, look, man, you stay up pretty late as it is. But, I'm sorry. And then there's, I'll get to that later. All right, a couple of teaspoons of sugar here. Oh. All right, what was that, 5 minutes of just me talking? Which is what Fez Night usually is. Time to don the Fez. Greetings, fellow citizens. This is Citizen Kong, and welcome to another Fez Night. Tonight's Fez Night should be called Zero Calorie Fez. All right, now what do I talk about? Okay, so, I've talked about how I really, really do not like blog TV or the Stick'em thing. And one reason, well, before that I didn't like it because I find it tiring. It's not relaxing. It's not like just sitting back and watching a video, You have to be somewhat involved to get anything out of it. You have to be reading the comments. You have to be typing comments. People are saying hello to you. Plus you're trying to follow what's going on the screen. Plus there's all those technical difficulties and sound problems. And face it, most people that post to blog TV don't know what the heck they're doing, okay? And so it's a train wreck, okay? But my friend Monk and Frank of the Mountain, I got a friend invite on Blog TV from Frank of the Mountain. I thought, oh, come on. This can't be him. So I sent him a PM. I said, is that really you? And he said, yeah. He said, it's really me. So what he was doing, and Frank of the Mountain, being, the accomplished musician, songwriter, singer-songwriter, and just an all-around, technical guy, got on Blog TV first to work the bugs out, to figure out, how it works. And it's far from perfect. There's all kinds of problems with it. But I think that helped. And so Monk hosted a Blog TV, and I went there to support him. And I ended up being a co-host. And what can I say? Was it because I was involved? I don't know. But it was one of the best Blog TVs ever. Monk had things ready to go. He had his dummies. He could do the voices. He was doing some great ad-lib jokes. And had some wonderful vintage recordings on vinyl of different, various things, sound effects from Doctor Who. And then I got on there and I played my harmonica. I smoked pot, smoked my pipe, drank Guinness. Yeah, it was on a Friday night. Meanwhile, on the other part of Blog TV, okay, now honestly, I did not watch. I did not attend. Nigel Cromwell, a.k.a. Jeff, was hosting a Blog TV that night too. But the poor old man cannot stay up late, so he posted it at 5 o'clock. No, he posted at 8 o'clock Eastern time, which was about 5 o'clock here. Okay, I got home from work about 4:30. I was exhausted. I laid down and I didn't wake up till around, I don't know, 7, something like that. By then it was all over. And for what I've heard, it was a train wreck. And now Jeff is saying that Blog TV sucks. Well, maybe because you didn't do your preparation. I don't know, you know. But honestly, I wasn't there, so I can't say from firsthand. I'm only repeating what other people said. So any of you else out there that was there for Jeff's Blog TV, feel free to chime in the comments. And any of you that were there at Monk's Blog TV, please let me know what you think of it. Now, Monk left a comment on my page and said, I should do Fez Night on Blog TV. That way people won't have to stay up late. And you know, the other thing is, I won't have to edit and wait for the video to process and upload it. So who knows? Possibly, maybe Fez Night would move to Blog TV. Let me know what you think about it. But I think some people like watching Fez Night at their leisure. It's really long. It's a lot of just me blah, 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 blah talking. And, you know, it puts people to sleep. And so they can't sit and watch the whole thing in one setting. And I don't blame them. I don't even know why people watch this stupid show, okay? It all started on a whim. I got drunk one night, was talking to Whiskey Man, I put a fez on my head and declared it Fez Night. And that's how it all began. And at one point, I turned it into a way to thank my subscribers. So back then, YouTube made it very convenient that your subscriber list was all in the order that they subbed. And so I would just look at my subscriber list and read off 2 or 3 of the channels that just subbed to me. And it did generate subs because I got a lot of sock accounts subbing to me, so they could create crazy sock channels like, you know, Dig Big Daddy Butthole or something and make me read those out. A dear estranged friend of mine, she used to like to do that. She's estranged. So yeah, and I'm not going to list everybody that was there, but I was there, and Monk was there, and Frank of the Mountain was there, and it was interesting. You know, there's sound delays, and sure, there were sound problems. Oh man, there was some horrendous feedback. The first time I tried to play the harmonica, it sounded awful. But there's things you can do on your end to adjust the mic levels that can still help. Not that I'm a technical expert or anything, so maybe I shouldn't even try to host a Blog TV. I mean, it might be really, really, really bad, you know? Excuse me. So, oh, did I do should I start over again? Did I raise my, cheers, welcome to another Fez Night. Did I drink my tea? Should I do that over again? Greetings, fellow citizens. This is Citizen Kong, and welcome to another Fez Night. Tonight's Fez Night shall be called 0 Calorie Fez. Oh no, I say cheers at the end, don't I, and drink. Whatever. Oh, man. So what else? This past week, I was on a... No, I'll say something. I'll keep that to myself. I want to do a shout out to Ameritube that does a great job of promoting other YouTubers, and they helped promote my channel at one point and gave me a mention not too long ago. Z Moulton was sort of a guest host, and even though he's not an American, but I thought it was a great idea. We should have people from other places hosting it, right? And so, steady there, steady. And so I think they're doing a great job. I think it's a really, really a nice idea, Ameritube. And then... Andy just loves it when I talk about... Oh, in a Blog TV, I have to say, Eileen was there. Okay? And so was Lisa of DeLisa Productions. I know I'm going to forget somebody. I met a new friend, Melton Response. And Barfly popped in for a little bit. Did I say Angie? Angie popped in. Runnermouth made a runner run by. Should I say that? He just popped in and then popped out again. Barfly didn't stay very long either. But I'd have to say The room, there was quite a few people in the room, and Monk did not do any promoting beforehand. He did not make any announcements that he was going to be on Blog TV. I guess a little bit of it got around by word of mouth, and at one point the chat room was really hopping. Hydroponic was there. Yeah, I was really happy with it. I was pretty jazzed, and I was co-host most of the time, but I kept walking away, getting off camera because I was getting buzzed and stuff. Felt I had to do other things in the room, so I'd walk off camera, and then Monk put on somebody else. Didn't he try to put on John? Oh, John's Wacky World was there. Didn't he try to put on John? He asked Eileen to be on there, but she doesn't have a webcam. I think Frank the Mountain was on there for a little bit. So that was it. That was my fun with Blog TV. I want to give a shout out to Gray Realities, who apparently I met on in another way. I wasn't going to go into that, but Gray Realities. Hello, Gray Realities. Cheers. I've heard his name before, and actually got a chance to communicate with him. Thought he was rather nice chap. Of course, like a lot of people that I know on YouTube, they're enemies of other people, and then I get chastised for being friends with people. I was getting into a thing on my comment page, and I think this is based on because I talk to Lammy and I flirt with Lammy. Well, there's people out there that really don't like Lammy. Whatever, you might have your reasons. I think in the past I've seen her write some terrible things when she's fighting in the comments, but I haven't seen her do that in a long time, and I think she's, what can I say, I think she's rather sweet. Yeah, and our flirtations might go off a little over the top and I might be embarrassed, but she flirts with a lot of people. And she flirts with Tom Kennedy, and if I'm in the same category as Tom Kennedy, then I truly must be embarrassed. Tom Kennedy, you're a freak. Oh, please, I don't want to compare myself to Tom Kennedy. But like as I said, Popsy keeps saying I'm gay, and I said, calling me gay is an insult to gay people, okay? Calling Tom Kennedy gay is an insult to gay people. And then Pops thought he was so clever. This practically writes itself. Pops, obviously you didn't get the joke to begin with. It just went over your head. I still saved the comment somewhere. So, yeah, and I started to say something about, I shouldn't even mention her name, but she's a constant thorn in my side too. Those two seem very much alike. Their MOs are very similar. Pops and Andy. They follow me around in the comment sections, and they do these like long-ass winded diatribes, which I call a FOMA. A FOMA is not like one or two sentences of glib comment. A FOMA is clearly the person is hurling as many insults as he can over several, it's got to be 5 lines or more. And Pops can do that easily. And I've seen Andy do the same thing. The other thing is like block everybody and remove their comments is another. That doesn't exactly is the definition of a FOMA, but that's how those two are alike. And speaking of blocking people, Timmy. I saw him making this video about how there's so many haters out there and everything. Like you're the nice guy here, okay? And then you said reporting somebody to YouTube or turning them in with a DMCA is the same thing as sucker punching a guy in a bar. No, it's not. It's the same thing as calling the bartender or the police to take care of it for you. The way you sucker punch somebody on YouTube is you own them or you pwn them through whatever means. I never understood. People say I pwned you or I owned you, and they're just declaring that they did. But sometimes, on a rare occasion, there is a mutual agreement from the observers that you were owned or pwned. And that's how you do it. Other words, you're just a tattletale running to the authorities. You're relying on the law and order here. Okay? And that's not how a street thug works. That's not how a pseudo criminal works, goes running to the police. Uh, Unless he's like the double, like he's talking to the police and he's hanging out with his gang and talking to the police. Anyway. So, and then the thing is, talk about his videos are constantly. Now he's making fun of, I guess, one of the guys from Boston. And, like he's some old man, he needs an oxygen tank, and he's retarded or something. And that's besides me, his little puppet that he does in that whiny voice. This thing better not be giving me trouble. Doesn't that whiny voice and harps on and on about my so-called lazy eye, which, look, do I need to do this again? A lazy eye cannot track, okay? As I'm getting older, nobody's eyes are perfectly symmetrical anyway, really. I have an astigmatism. So if you want to make fun of him, Citizen Kong has an astigmatism. He has an astigmatism. Hence, that's why he wears glasses. He has an astigmatism. It's not a lazy eye, jerks. Oh. Talk about a hater, Timmy, constantly hating on people. And I met him in the real world, which is a mistake on my part. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He's not easygoing. He holds a grudge. He's not a nice person. He thinks of himself as some sort of street thug. He's talking about how he has, he's got 2 strikes. He's a 3rd strike away from going to jail or prison. I don't know whether any of that's true, but he tries to build that image, and so that is not. I mean, that's not a sweet person, is it? And some of us, I learned early the hard way, and some other people are catching on. Now, Kid Blood, okay? Kid Blood was a major Timmy supporter. Much to my chagrin. I mean, I think Kid Blood's all right. I don't hate the guy. But I was all like, man, why are you so much in Timmy's camp? And look, there's friends of mine like Kool-Aid Girl. Kool-Aid Girl doesn't approve of some of the people I hang out with or I talk to. And sometimes I find out the hard way, where there's somebody that I don't know their history. I don't know what happened in this Skype chat room or what happened somewhere else in the history of YouTube. And I'm talking to them and they're supposed to be persona non grata. Look, I'm just Citizen Kong, okay? In some cases, I have my people that are on my shit list, okay? That's all I'm really worried about, okay? I'm not worried about other people's shit lists, okay? In some cases, though, like a close friend, if they have an enemy, I will steer clear of that person. But it's kind of difficult when you're being friendly with somebody. I said, oh, you know what? I just found out I'm supposed to hate you. Come on. So anyway, Kid Blood, all right? So Kid Blood's a big Timmy supporter, all right? And this is what I learned about Timmy. You have to be so careful what you do or what you say if you're a friend of Timmy's, if he considers you in his camp. You have to be so careful. Kid Blood was hosting a Blog TV or a Stickum show, one of those two. And Timmy was there. And I guess Kid Blood wasn't paying attention, and I guess people were dissing Timmy, which he deserves from all the dissing he does to other people. He locks himself up in his channel like it's a fortress, blocking everybody. And so he's out there, out there in the cyberspace, having to deal with all this stuff, this animosity he's built up. And Kid Blood, like when I was there, Kid Blood made him the moderator, and Timmy just started kicking people out. I was one of the first to go, and I didn't do anything, okay? I wasn't rude. I didn't say anything to Kid Blood. Timmy was doing it purely for himself. Kid Blood was actually happy I was there. He welcomed me. And then Timmy came along. Oh, then Timmy was there, and he left when I showed up. And then he came back, asked Kid Blood to make him the moderator, and then he kicked me out. Now, don't you think that's kind of like dirty pool? I mean, what do you think? Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's any way to conduct yourself? Do you think that if you're not a hater and a lovable person that you would take such actions? Really? So, so anyway, Kid Blood lost control of this chat room apparently, and Timmy made several videos about how he got owned. Yeah, I got owned. La 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 la. That he got ganged up on. Well, you know what? You go around pissing people off, and then somewhere you show at a gathering where they're all there, you can expect something to happen, Timmy. So now he's saying stuff like, "You're dead to me," to Kid Blood. "You're dead to me." And I think Kid Blood has realized really what kind of person Timmy is. And yet you still have people that hang around Timmy and comment on his videos, and Timmy considers them, his good friends and stuff. All right, some of those people I like, okay? And I'm not going to say anything to them. I'm not going to ask anything to them. But meanwhile, and I don't see, when Timmy's hating on me, I don't see them chiming in, except for two people. And that's Andy and Jeff of Nigel Cromwell. And so, as far as if you want to be a Timmy supporter, that says a lot about you, okay? Because Timmy, and look, Riley keeps going on all this stuff. Oh yeah, because Riley himself said, and I won't do this, but Riley said anybody that's friends with Timmy's he said this a few months ago, is on my shit list basically. Except for Jeff. He gives Jeff a pass because Jeff is working for Riley, and he's the one who gets in the inside, to help win Timmy over to like Riley or some bullshit like that. So Riley gives Jeff a pass on that. Yeah, speaking, did I say something about Jeff's Blog TV? Yeah, he couldn't stay up late enough. So I had to say that. Timmy says, "Oh, I don't watch Fez Night. I don't watch Fez Night." Then, I come home from work the next day, and there he is, parroting my Fez Night that I did the night before. Takes his puppet, puts it in a dress. That's one of the things the enemies love to do to me, is to try to feminize me in some way. So when you see somebody trying to feminize me, Citizen Kong, they're one of my haters, okay? Pops loves to do it. Timmy loves to do it. Jeff has called me a pussy. And then Jeff was instigating stuff, saying that I was talking shit about Bang Callahan. I barely even know who the guy is. I never even spoke to him. I've just been hearing the name lately. And he's saying, "Oh, I don't know why Kong's so hard on Bang Callahan. He's such a pussy." And what? Oh, well, then I threw my friend Barfly Brooks under the bus. What? What? You're just making shit up. You're just lying, making shit up to try to instigate something is what you do. You instigate things. This is what Nigel Cromwell does. He instigates trouble. And look, I'd have to say I really love the guy. But I knew he was a racist, being a David Duke follower and all that anti-Zionist stuff. Look, in SoCal, it's a red flag, okay? Now, maybe where he lives, that's perfectly normal. Everybody puts a Confederate flag in their yard, and they read David Duke, and they try to tell their neighbors about what David Duke said. And but here, and so, but I didn't care. I still loved the man, I thought we were good friends. But once Timmy let that out, recorded my conversation, something that I said, I was defending it. In the context of it, I was defending Jeff, if anything. But of course, Timmy edited that part out. Since then, Jeff doesn't like me, So he's over there. Any haters, he's supporting them, chiming in, yeah. And then he called me a pussy, and just whatever Jeff says, he chimes in there and la 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 la, So there, I spent like a whole half hour talking about YouTube drama. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Really, I would like things to go back the way they were. But the NOE, to me, is just turned, and Jeff said it himself, it's turned into a hater group. A hater group, a troll group, whatever. And I say it has to do with the leadership, Really. I mean, there's nobody really guiding things. Jeff, what he does is he creates drama, creates trouble, and sits back and laughs. He pits people against each other. The whole thing clearly Pops was when I still called myself a member of the NOE, it was pretty much known. Frank of the Mountain, myself, and Monk do not care for Pops, especially after all the shit that's happened over the years, okay? We have our reasons, and I don't need to explain it. And Pops will say that I'm a backstabber, I'm an ankle biter, I'm a weasel, blah, 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 okay? But Pops makes stuff up. He remembers things wrong. And sometimes he just out and out lies. Like he said that I told him on the phone that my own family hates me. That is a bald-faced lie. Now, maybe he was drunk. Every time that he's called me, he's been drinking. That's an honest fact. I'd ask him. He would deny it at first. Then after a while, I'd say, oh, I had 1 or 2 beers. Look, when you tell a cop I had a couple of beers, it's always more than 2 beers. So he doesn't remember anything or remembers it wrong. So where am I going with this? So anyway, later, Jeff, just to create trouble and create drama, brought Pops back into the fold because he wanted to see what would happen. Yeah, he plans these things out. And then him saying that I threw Barfly under the bus, he's trying to cause trouble between me and Barfly. But man, I love Barfly, even though sometimes he pisses me off, and I know I piss him off. The poor man gets blamed for so many sock channels that aren't his, okay? Pops is all, that's Barfly, that's Barfly. That's Barfly Brooks. And you know what? They're all me. No, I'm just kidding. I try my best to just do everything straightforward on Fez Night. I know that one time I said I had large testicles and all that. That was kind of a joke, and I don't want to do that anymore. But it created some really interesting stuff out there. And but I can assure you that there are many sock accounts that Scott gets blamed for that I could just honestly say are not him. Okay? Now, certain really like freaky people like I would say something. I talk to Eileen all the time. I know that Eileen and Grace aren't the same person. Then Andy comes with all these like scenarios of how I could be wrong or how I'm lying or how I could be fooled or tricked. Look, you know, sometimes you just have to take things at face value, okay? You know, sure, you know, Eileen might have like an evil twin. You know, Eileen might have, multiple personality disorder, but she doesn't. But Annie's going to make up stuff like that. You know, I mean, there's all these crazy scenarios. I talk to Eileen almost every day. You know, she's been a big support. Frankly, I was bored. I needed people to talk to. Poor Barfly, I called him a lot too. And there was my estranged friend who I used to talk to about all the time. But she kept insulting me and calling me names and siding with my enemies here on YouTube, basically supporting them and pulling the rug out from under me, kicking me in the ankles and the shins, because she thought it was funny. And how can I have a friend like that on YouTube, you know? So basically I told her, I said, look, I can't be friends with you on YouTube, but I'll be friends with you in the real. Because in the real, any of that stuff she gives me, I could just take it with a grain of salt. But it's not like she's saying those things to me in public. You know, we're having those discussions in private. But when she went around splattering it all over the comments pages, and then insulting Monk was just merely trying to step in and say, look, you're being a little unreasonable here, and he's doing it so nicely. And she bit his head off. I had to talk about her, but anyway. But I do miss her. I just thought that was bad, the way things happened. There was a little discussion, last of the YouTube stuff. There was some discussion about people putting their children on YouTube. And basically saying, if you put your child on YouTube and somebody rips the video and turns it into some sort of, does something awful, like makes out like the child, you know, that the child is being stalked by a pedophile or or whatever, where they do stuff that's mean, involving the family, which did happen to Frank of the Mountain during one of the wars, and it happened in the comments, and not that Frank put pictures of his pictures on YouTube, but somehow this person found a picture somewhere on the internet, perfectly innocent picture. And this is during a fight that was involved Pops and Lisa, and there was a video that was put up depicting the NOE as Nazis. And I'd never forget that night. There was so much stuff going on, and there was PMs and stuff flying back and forth. And like, who is this? And, you know, of course we were the usual suspects. And it's still a mystery. I asked Pop straight out. He said it wasn't him. Okay, all right, I believe you. I said, but do you know who it is? And he wouldn't say. And that person did threaten Frank with that sort of thing. So anyway, there was that discussion about that. Frank, I hope you don't mind me talking about that. If I had a phone, I'd call you and say, man, is it okay? But he's careful, okay? This is something, you know, and it didn't turn into anything. But man, was that underhanded? That was dirty. Well, anyway, but what I'm saying is, what I'm going to say is that blaming the parent for putting something about their family on YouTube and then haters using it, that's kind of like the same thing as blaming a woman for being attacked because she went outside. You know, sure, we need to be careful. You know, I think Joe Cool said something like, "Would you let your children go play in a minefield?" That's YouTube being a minefield. Well, YouTube's not. YouTube is the field. It's the evil ones that go out there and plant the mines. Okay, and if a parent somehow their child strays in the minefield and blows them up, are you going to really attack the parent? No, you're going to attack the person that put the mines in there. I mean, you might say, oh, you shouldn't let your kid play in there and, you know, give them some of the blame, but they just lost their child, you know. Dirk puts his daughter in the videos and stuff, and he was getting really, really chastised for that because they were turned around and used against him. I'm just saying, just put the blame where it belongs. Sure, you shouldn't put your children on the internet, especially if you're a controversial person. I myself don't like the whole thing of dragging friends and family in, but Pops go around the comment making lies up about my family, you know. So he did it, and then Pops would go, "Oh, people did that to me," but I never did. I never did that. Don't use that as an excuse that somebody else did that to you. And I saw people do that to Monk, too. I've seen it done to a lot of people. But that's really underhanded, to really do that. That's a really awful thing. If we're here to battle it out and fight, it should be mano a mano. Or at least gangs, gang against gang. The people that are here on YouTube. I mean, that's kind of like the mafia or something, like, you know, kidnapping your wife or something like that. So, you know, or some like evil government. Yeah, we got your wife, and, you know, if you don't do what we want, you know, we're going to cut her head off. All right, real quick, you know, I was feeling like the other day, like, man, what is this, the apocalypse or something? We're getting a war in Libya, you know, and then here the right's criticize, and, you know, and as a lefty, I'm not happy about Obama getting involved in Libya, you know, because genocide happens in Africa, and we never do anything about it. You know, but what is it? Bush, started like 2 wars or something? One joke was that now Obama wants his turn. There was a great interesting thing about the Civil War. They're digitizing a bunch of stuff in Virginia. Some interesting stories. Letters and things that were written by Confederate soldiers home about what was going on. There was also an interesting photograph and story about some freed slaves that actually prospered on the piece of land that they were given. So it kind of worked out for them. And they didn't pick up guns and go running after white people. Did I ever tell you that's how the NRA got founded? It was out of fear of the retaliation of all the blacks. Because basically the thinking was, hell, if my people was kept in slavery and I was turned loose, that's the first thing I would do is kill everybody. So the Ku Klux Klan and the NRA were started. Geraldine Ferraro passed away. Now we have Sarah Palin, blah blah blah. These other right-wing female politicians. But back when Ferraro did it, she was a pioneer. She was spearheading something. Okay, and she's the one who broke the ground, made it possible. And then now, and the conservative right just hated her. You know, just couldn't stand her because the whole thing. Women didn't belong in politics. Who was that? One a long time ago too was a woman, Bella Abzug. Was that her name? Oh man, they hated her. And but finally, the women's movement, the women's liberation, made enough ground, basically plowed the field and made it possible. And here comes along people like Sarah Palin planting their crops there and going, yeah, this is great, But they didn't do anything for it. In fact, those are the same people that were like killing the horse and stealing the plow. But now that it's all done, they're all like, yeah, they feel free to go out there and play in it without any acknowledgement of the women's liberation movement that made it all possible. So in Japan, all that radiation leaking, there's a thing about the workers weren't told that the water was highly radioactive and these guys were exposed to it. I guess they were wading in it and they're really, really messed up. I overheard a guy talking. I went to the military surplus store the other day to look for some cheap stuff. And, the kind of people that hang out in there. Gun fanatics and right-wingers and stuff. I always make sure I keep my mouth shut when I'm in there. And I overheard the guy talking to the owner at the counter, and he's talking about how, he worked for San Onofre or something, and he was doing some other job with a nuclear power plant. He's all like, yeah, it's not that bad. Don't believe anything the media says. That's all lies. Oh, really? I think if what the media is holding back is the true gravity of the situation, the authorities are not making it sound worse than it really is. Why would they do that? Oh, it's the green conspiracy. Yeah, it's that leftist green conspiracy. They're the one that runs the media and tries to blow the fact that there's radiation leaking into something that's that's not good. Because really the truth is there's nothing to worry about. It's only that leftist media. It's only those crazy tree huggers trying to take our way of life. Take it away from us. I'm looking through the paper real quick, but I should wind this up because the longer I make this Fez Night, the longer it takes to upload. All right, everybody. Have a great week. This is Citizen Kong. Cheers. How do we turn this damn thing off?